Hey guys, SBK here. It's been a while since I've talked much about my hacks, what's going on with me, where I've been, generic YouTuber update video topics, and I'll be honest, I've put off talking about these things because I wasn't sure what I wanted to say, but I think it's time for me to just come clean about what's going on. A lot of people have asked me whether or not Super Spooky Mario 666 is still happening, and all I can say now is yes, but it's probably not going to be out this year. 2020 has been a rough, weird, and stressful year for me, as I'm sure it's been for a lot of other people. And considering I wasn't in the best of places myself in 2019, needless to say I've been feeling extremely unmotivated to work on anything. Compared to the 2019 demo, the current version of SSM is not too different, minus some unfinished stages and hubs. A lot of my quote-unquote motivation went towards random projects and odd jobs to make some money, and what was left of that motivation went towards working on a wide variety of creative projects I've taken up, including a number of unfinished songs, video scripts, and competition hacks. More on those later. It didn't help that, with SSM, I was faced with a tough decision that killed my motivation for a long time. Whether to switch development over to the decompiled source code, or to stick with what I have now using the binary tools I've gotten used to using. You see, while I'm terrible at making custom code using ASM and C injection, I have a lot less trouble with the decompiled source code, where it may take me days to implement certain custom objects and scripts in ASM that would barely function anyways. In decomp, it would take me only a few hours of work. When I learned how easy it was to implement custom objects and code in decomp projects, my mind went wild with new ideas and concepts for my hack. However, some of the various tweaks, changes, and features that I've gotten used to in ROM Manager are not as easily accessible in decomp, and I would have to spend a lot of time essentially remaking everything I've made up until this point in decomp. Not only that, but I really dislike using Blender, and at the moment, as far as I'm aware, Fast64 is the only tool out there for importing level data and changing object placement in decomp hacks. I thought a lot about it, and the more I thought, the easier it was to procrastinate and put it off while I worked on other things. And it sucked. It was a cycle of constantly pushing it to the back of my head and letting other things take priority. I was going to make a trailer for F3, but I didn't even bother due to the lack of things to show. However, things have been getting better over the past few weeks. For one, I decided to cancel all my work in progress ROM hacks and projects, as well as bar myself from entering any future ROM hacking competitions, as to avoid putting this hack off any further. Second, I got a job, and not only is it not very stressful or tiring, but it makes me enough money that I'm able to comfortably put aside some of the other odd jobs and opportunities I've had to take up in prior months to get by. I've also been feeling better overall, and while I'm not at 100%, it's enough that I don't feel like complete shit all the time. And with these changes, I found my motivation to work on SSM again. I've decided I'm going to try and finish development of the hack in binary, which sucks because I know I'm not good enough at assembly nor C injection to do everything I planned for. But that's okay, because I still feel confident enough to believe that, even with what I have available to me, I can still make an enjoyable hack. But there's still that nagging feeling that this hack could be so much more with just a few more things thrown in. That's why I want to ask for your help. If you want to help me finish this hack, please join my Discord. While this invitation is mainly for those who know how to write ASM, any small contributions will be greatly appreciated. While I don't have a concrete list of scripts I need written, I am hoping that people will contribute what they can when they have the free time to do so. This includes things as simple as basic objects and bug fixes to existing scripts, to more complex objects such as custom enemies and maybe even bosses if someone is generous enough to actually put the time in to make them for me. Also, I have a tendency to work on something more if there's a greater chance of letting others down, so there's that. As for deadlines, I'm going to see how much I can put into the game by Halloween, and then see what happens from there. If I'm able to get this done by Halloween, that would be incredible, but it's a long shot. My estimate is that it will probably be out sometime in 2021, but I don't want to give any big promises. It'll be out when it's out. I'd like to include as many stages as possible, but it all depends on how quickly everything comes together. Some stages may take a very short amount of time to develop, while others can take months. I'm gonna go ahead and promise you one thing, another update video by Halloween. Hopefully then I'll have more to show you. As for other hacks, I mentioned that I cancelled all my other hack projects, but that's not entirely true. I have one other hack I'm working on that is going to be released in the coming days. Super Tinglio 64 is my first decomp hack. It was originally going to be my Simple Flip Zelda competition hack, but I never got around to finishing the actual levels for it. but the base mechanics are fun enough that I imagine some of y'all will have a lot of fun playing the existing SM64 levels with them. I'm going to polish it up this weekend and release it sometime next week. In other news, a few weeks ago I participated in the Game Maker's Toolkit Game Jam and released my first ever game, Budget Bot Simulator 50K. It's a free download, so if you're interested in a tricky puzzle platformer, give it a shot. I want to do more game jams in the future, and maybe once SSM is done, I'll make more games. I'm also working on some music stuff, so stay tuned for updates. I'm also working on some random videos, and while they're not ready at the moment and not my priority, I'd suggest subscribing if you're interested. I may do some random streams eventually. I'd like to stream some ROM hacks I haven't gotten around to playing yet, or maybe some Smash, I don't know. You can catch me on Twitch at twitch.tv/spk_tk. If you want updates or notifications on future videos, streams, hacks, anything, I've completely revamped my Discord, so I suggest you check it out if you're interested. Sorry that there wasn't as much good news in this vid, but it's better to be honest than to give you guys a bunch of false promises. And with that, I hope to see y'all soon.